Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Coffee Talk Live, where we explore the bizarre, the ridiculous, and the silly. So much going on over this last 48 hours. I will warn you, I'm in a mood today. So, it just gets to the level of ridiculousness to where, what else can you say, right? We've got Sarah Palin essentially calling for civil war in the wake of the Trump arrest. We now have new claims that Snowvid caused damage to the vagus nerve, which of course was everything we were saying over the past 4 years, and all of a sudden they're going to announce that. We've also got weird happenings behind people's doors. There was one case where there was a shooting and someone else poisoned an entire family from underneath their door. Updates on Hawaii today, and a new fluke shot guidelines that provide clues about the chicken and the egg, and so much more. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody to the channel. Now, this has to be our top story for today. This is unreal. The last 5 years on this channel, we've been talking about damage to the vagus nerve. And one of you told me that this was relatively new news. This is from last month. And now they're finally admitting it. Now, what were we talking about this vagus nerve over the last 5 years? Well, we did a video. Here it is right here. And it's called Warp Speed into the Chakra New Age. Now, this was based off of 5 previous videos from 2021, and I put them into a 2-hour documentary for you guys, and I uploaded the documentary in 2022. But in this, we talk about the vagus nerve. We talk about Trump's frontman for Warp Speed, Moncef Slaoui, who was fascinated with the vagus nerve. Remember that? Well, now all of a sudden, they're talking about the vagus nerve. And remember, Moncef Slaoui wanted to hack the vagus nerve, didn't he? In fact, during the last 2 weeks, we decoded episodes of Star Trek where we brought up the attack on the nervous system again. And now Forbes is reporting that they're saying that long Snowvid is caused by damage to the vagus nerve. Now, what are the odds of that? Theories we were talking about in 2021 before a crack scene was ever made. It's now appearing as mainstream news. And I'll put a link to the documentary, this documentary, Warp Speed into Chakra New Age, for you guys in the pinned comment so that you can see for yourself what they were talking about. It's chilling, you guys. Now, of course, the difference between what Forbes is saying in this article and what we were talking about, it was a little bit different in terms of what was causing the vagus nerve damage. Let's read this. New insights into long Snowvid point to damage to the vagus nerve. Reports from 2022 show that more than 65 million people that were infected with Snowvid-19 developed long-lasting symptoms. Long Snowvid. Given how difficult it can be to identify and diagnose, incidence rates among these people exposed to multiple viral infections may be much higher. Long Snowvid symptoms, such as fatigue, difficulty breathing, and brain fog, can significantly interfere with one's quality of life. Emerging studies now suggest that many of these symptoms may be consequences of damage to the vagus nerve. As the body's primary communication superhighway, the vagus nerve extends into every major organ in the body, including the heart, lungs, gastrointestinal tract. Injury to this nerve, therefore, can disrupt the system we rely on to breathe, digest, and simply function on a daily basis. Now, this gives new insight into so many things, doesn't it? The ability to digest food, breathing, simple bodily functions. Many people during the pandemic had issues with this, didn't they? And you have to wonder if this was all due to the attack on the vagus nerve. I know many people that got sick during this time, problems with digestion, and it didn't happen. Most of it didn't happen until, well, it was actually before the smack the nation. So they did something to us, didn't they? Now they're saying Snowvid, but you can connect the dots and figure out what's going on. Persistent cough, changes in speech, difficulty swallowing, increased heart rate, GI issues, dizziness, cognitive complications. What the heck is going on here? Let me check in with you guys and see if your thoughts on vagus nerve damage. Now, what are the odds that Trump chose the guy who is fascinated with the vagus nerve to head up the creation of the smack the nation? What are the odds of that? That brings us to Bronny James. LeBron James' son, who fainted suddenly. Remember this? I want to make sure you know that he was born with a heart defect, and that's why it happened. Now, apparently, I looked it up, and they do allow athletes to play in these sports, even professional sports, if they have a heart condition. But what are the odds of this? Now, I'm not going to go read the comments now on this, but I can imagine many people are talking about this and what actually happened. Now, let's get into some of these other headlines today. A heat wave, of course, is sweeping across America, and watermelons are literally exploding. I've never heard of this happening before. Have you guys? I mean, is this a joke? Maybe they meant to say honeydews are exploding. Like, you know, that would make more sense. Honey directed energy weapon melons. Let's read this. Notice how they're going to whitewash all this as normal. Oh, nothing to see here. Watermelons explode all the time. Watermelons can offer a nice explosion of flavor in your mouth, but they shouldn't be spontaneously combusting. Oddly enough, that's exactly what some fans of the popular fruit are worried about, following several consumer reports of foaming watermelons this summer. Well, this has nothing to do with the fact that these watermelons probably aren't even real. They're probably like GMO watermelons. They forgot to fix the gene that controls explosion, spontaneous explosion. It's unbelievable. Let's read this. Emily Durbin, a Florida resident, posted about one such ominous-looking fruit this week. Durbin shared a photo of a sizable watermelon perched on her kitchen counter with a white foam oozing out of it. We bought this watermelon yesterday. We bought this watermelon at Walmart yesterday. My husband left for work around 6 a.m. And when I walked in the kitchen around 9 a.m., this is what I walked into. So these aren't even out in the sun, you guys. These are watermelons that people are buying in the supermarket. The white stuff was foamy, bubbly substance. The yellow juice was chunky and thick. The odor was absolutely foul. It reminded me of vomit. What the heck is going on here? When Durbin picked up the fruit to toss it in the trash, she said she felt rumbling on the inside, but was perplexed because the watermelon hadn't been around any heat sources. Can anyone say honey directed energy weapon? Honeydew? Many Facebook users commented on Durbin's post to say they had also experienced an exploding watermelon in recent weeks. My melon was on the counter. It must have already been bad when I got it, and the next day I came down to an awful smell and a rotten watermelon everywhere. You guys, watermelons don't rot that fast. Do they? Something's happening to these watermelons. Are they slicing beams across the landscape? And when these watermelons come in contact with the beams from above, this is what's happening to them? Like, something's wrong here, isn't it? As they try to like whitewash this all away as nothing to see here. Now I'm going to go into the chat because look at this. I'm curious as to see what your guys' thoughts are on what's going on with these watermelons. Now, I watch some YouTube channels just for entertainment, just to get my mind off of this stuff. So I follow a lot of outdoor YouTube channels. And I remember about 5 months ago, one of my favorite YouTube channels, Blue Gabe, used, what was it? Rubber bands. And there's like some kind of thing that was going viral that everyone was doing, where they took rubber bands and put them around a watermelon. And then they would like keep putting more and more rubber bands around the watermelon. And they would do this until like there were hundreds or even thousands of watermelons. And then the watermelon would get so tight that it would explode. Have you guys ever seen this hack? I think it went viral. And so they tried it on his channel. And I was like, maybe that was a precursor to what's happening right now. Programming to make you think that, oh, it's no big deal for a watermelon to explode. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Someone said that these watermelons remind you of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where the pods were connected to like a vine, and then the new human would like emerge from the pod when it was in close proximity to the sleeping person inside. It would basically clone them. Wow. Great observation. Yeah, I mean, you guys, I grew up eating watermelon. I've never in my life heard of anything like this at all. The only thing remotely that would even relate to that would be like the rind of the watermelon being white. I remember that part. We would throw it away. My mom's like, you better get up on that rind. You better eat that rind. Because like we would just throw it away. As soon as the pink flesh was gone, we would just throw it away. And we would get in trouble for that because it was wasting the watermelon. And now we have, of course, exploding watermelons with white ooze coming out of them. Unreal, you guys. Unreal. All right. Someone asked Blue Gabe. Yeah, Blue Gabe. It's a good channel. Outdoor guy from Florida. I used to watch his older brother. I still do. But, yeah. Rob Arrington, Deer Meat for Dinner. Pretty good channel. Just have questions when people like get that huge, but this is the world we live in now. A lot of people are asleep to the agenda. A lot of people are just, here to make money, and they don't think about the way the world really works. And a lot of people just want to stay positive, and like hats off to them. But the reality of the world we live in for the rest of us is pretty dismal, So let's keep going. There's more headlines today, you guys. Let's see. We got the watermelons. Oh, hey, guess what? They found a way to turn your electric vehicle battery bomb into something more friendly. I'm not making this up, you guys. Instead of filling the battery with flammable solvents, they want to fill them with salt water. Because the batteries charge a lot faster. And most importantly, you will no longer have to drive a bomb to work. I can't even believe I have to read stories like this with a straight face. As if they didn't know that putting flammable solvents into a car battery was a recipe for a disaster. Come on. Let's read this story. Scientists just discovered a solution to one of the most dangerous problems with electric cars. Here's what they found. As electric vehicles continue to gain popularity and replace traditional gas-powered cars, the benefits, mainly the fact that they do not produce planet-warming tailpipe pollution, are clear. Now, notice the irony of this statement here. They're not clear. The benefit is not clear. Okay? Batteries and electric technology do far more harm to the earth than some filtered tailpipe smoke. They've already reduced emissions on a lot of this stuff almost down to zero. You can almost breathe the air coming out of a tailpipe. Oh, but it's clear. They just say that. Oh, it's just clear. The benefits are better. You guys, EV technology is the top of the list for slave and child labor needed to produce it. The earth literally has to be carved away. like clear cut to find these rare metals, not to mention making us dependent on other nations who provide those metals, namely China. And think about all the gasoline-powered mining equipment used to clear cut these lands and dig into the earth and destroy literally everything in it. Which, of course, their gasoline is spewing out magnitudes more of these so-called greenhouse gases just to get the metals out of the earth. And then what do you do with all these batteries? There's no clear plan. Do you see advertisements for, oh, recycle your car battery? What happens when a car manufacturer replaces your car battery if you don't go broke trying to buy one? Because they're about $6,000 to $10,000. And then all those toxic metals go right back down into the earth as poisoned in places where they shouldn't be. So this is what's going on now. They have a new technology. Let's read this. While EV fires actually occur much less frequently than fires in gas-powered cars, when they do occur, they are much more dangerous. While gas burns out quickly, lithium-ion batteries are the opposite, burning incredibly hot for long durations and requiring tens of thousands of gallons of water to be extinguished. Luckily, researchers at the University of Central Florida's Nanoscience Technology Center may have just found a fix by developing a new kind of battery that uses salt water instead of flammable organic solvents. They just say that like it's no big deal. Yeah, we've been using flammable organic solvents in your batteries. So here's the problem. These electric cars, when they get wet, they have shorts. And a short, not shorts you wear to go swimming, a short circuit. And the shorts, when you try to turn the car back on, can cause a fire. Now, I don't know about you, but cars are not impervious. They rely on, rubber seals and all these different things. And just because you think water's not going to get into your battery compartment doesn't necessarily mean water won't get into your battery compartment. And all it takes is one spark. Next thing you know, you have literally a bomb. And good luck getting out of that car before it explodes. Now, they're finally actually admitting that electric vehicles catching fire is a real thing. Because remember, 5 years ago, this was conspiracy, wasn't it? It was all in our heads. And they told us EV technology was perfectly safe. Here's what CNN was saying. Let's see. This was back in 2018. Are electric cars more likely to catch fire? The simple answer is probably not. Chances are they might even be safer, though it's tough to say that definitively. Notice how they're really not saying anything. They're saying a bunch of nothing here. The propensity and severity of fires and explosions from lithium-ion battery systems are anticipated to be somewhat comparable to, or perhaps slightly less than, those for gasoline or diesel vehicular fuels. Really? This is what they were saying in 2018. So, now all of a sudden they're admitting the fires are hotter and they do burn and catch fire. And it's way worse. This is the world we live in, you guys. Now you see the frustration. And people believe this stuff. They believed it back then. That's why they all went out and bought electric cars. And now here we are. They lie straight to our faces under the cover of, oh, the science is evolving, so we're learning. But then they completely discredit any opposing viewpoints. Now, if they would have taken the time to entertain opposing views and evidence, right? Instead of covering up their own lies, maybe more people would be safe. They should be saying things like, we don't know for sure, but we will keep an eye on your concerns. That's the world I want to live in. I don't want to be shushed and told to shut up, or told that, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. I want to be told, we will look into your concerns and investigate it and keep an eye on it. Unbelievable. Now, let me check in with you guys. We're going to get into the stain, because the stain is back in the news. What stain am I talking about? Epstein. Jeffrey, to be exact. So silly how we have to play these word games, right? But welcome to the new world of do what I say and don't ever say what I do. We'll have to coin that phrase, won't we? Do what I say and don't ever say what I do. Anyway, the Staines, New Mexico ranch just sold. Let's see what they're saying here. I wonder if they're going to raise it to the ground in a giant pile of dust. Let's see if there's any clues in this. The Staines, New Mexico ranch is sold for an undisclosed price to a newly registered company. A newly registered company. Oh, I wonder if the Stain is behind it. Let's read this. Known as the Zorro Ranch, a high desert property once owned by disgraced financier The Stain and his girlfriend Grease Stain Maxwell. An attorney for the Staines estate, Daniel Weiner, of course, confirmed Tuesday that the ranch had been sold for an undisclosed price. The proceeds would be used to administer the estate and pay creditors. It's $27 million. Then it dropped to $18 million. Of course it's $18 million. $6 million, $6 million, and $6 million. Weiner told Albert, I can't even read this story without laughing. I'll put a link to this one. Unbelievable. So, what else do we have? Weaponized mosquitoes and ticks are now a thing. All kinds of diseases being transferred through the very animals that we're pretty much defenseless against. What are the odds of that? The deadliest diseases being carried by things we can't see or by things that we can't stop from landing on us and biting us. I mean, is anybody awake to this stuff? Why couldn't it be a bird or a possum disease? Something you can stay away from. No, it has to be a microscopic, stinging, biting thing, right? You see how silly all this sounds when people say this all just happened naturally? It just is ridiculous on its face. Of course, it didn't happen naturally. Rare cases of mosquito and tick-borne diseases, including powassan and dengue, crop up across the U.S. As the end of the summer approaches, cases of rare insect-borne diseases are cropping up weekly across the country, including Eastern equine encephalitis, dengue fever, and West Nile virus, all spread by mosquitoes, and the tick-borne powassan virus. This week, Alabama reported 2 cases of Eastern equine encephalitis, triple E, including 1 death. The rare disease has a 30% fatality rate. Many survivors have lasting neurological issues. Notice, again, it's about the nervous system. In Connecticut, meanwhile, 4 residents tested positive for powassan virus, the first infections in the state this year. The U.S. also recorded its first case of locally transmitted malaria in 2 decades this summer, 7 in Florida, and 1 each in Maryland and Texas. Unreal. So, welcome to our new life. Now, weird things are happening behind closed doors. And I'm not talking about freaky people. I'm talking about weird stuff like this person shot from behind a door. Let's look at this video here. Dallas man shoots through his door at suspects posing as maintenance workers. Now, I'm not saying this guy shouldn't have shot these people because obviously they were trying to rob him, but let's take a look here. Look at this. Look at this guy. Hello, sir. We're here with the pizza.
Oh yes, they came to check your air filters. I'm not sure. This is 38277.
Oh boy.
Apartment. No one came to air filters.
Can you repeat that?
Look at this guy. He's not even trying to pretend that he's a real air conditioner worker. Let's keep listening.
Apartment.
No. Yeah, we're checking the air filters.
Uh-oh. Houston, we have a problem. We lose our connection? Oh, no. Oh boy. Let me see if you guys are with me. I don't know. Maybe I'll refresh the story. Okay, looks like you guys are still here. Let me try to refresh the story. I thought maybe we got kicked off. I've been shooting our mouth off today quite a bit. We gotta see the ending. Okay, here we go. Let's try this again. Sir, we have your pizza. We want to give you, give you your pizza.
Can I help you?
Oh yes, they came to check your air filters. I'm not sure. This is 38277.
Apartment. No one came to check air filters.
Can you repeat that?
No one came to check the air apartment.
Get off my steps.
No. Yeah, we're checking the air filters.
Oh, nobody's home right now. You'll have to wait till another day.
Oh, much appreciated.
Oh boy. He's like got a gun tucked under his... Whoa! Whoa! Look at these guys! Unbelievable! Wow! They're literally trying to break this guy's door down. Whoa! Oh boy! See? This is why you need to have personal home protection. There are people out there like this. And this is only going to get worse. Man, stuff like this makes me want to put a deadbolt on my front door. That way you have time to go grab your pop stick, right? Let's watch that back again. That was crazy. I hadn't watched this yet, so... Look at this guy. He has the gall to just literally... He doesn't care what's behind the door.
Home right now. You'll have to wait till another day.
What
the... Much appreciated.
In Dallas, you guys. Oh, I see what happened. So basically, I think what happened was the guy was talking from his Blink, but as you know, you can actually talk through your Blink even if you're not home. So the mistake the guy made is he said that they weren't home, right? When you say you're not home, that allows these guys to come inside, even though the guy was really home. Look at this. Bam! Look at this guy. These are the dregs of society right here. Someone willing to, with a gun, take your property. This makes me angry, actually. Look at this guy. That other guy wasn't even smart enough to hide his face. He takes a crack at it. Just sounds like someone knocking on a door, which is probably why no one said anything. Oh. I wonder if he got him. See any blood? Wow. That's crazy. Huh. There they go. Oh, look. Let's back this up. You can see him scurrying down the stairs. Right here. There they go. Let's get the heck out of here, man. Unreal. And here comes the cops.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Notice how the police show up after the event's already over, right? That's why you can't rely on the police to protect yourself. And any notion against that is people just simply not being real with the situation. You have to have personal protection because there are people out there who don't follow any laws who want to take you out, aren't there? And a gun inside of a safe isn't going to help you. You need it ready to go for situations like this to protect yourself and your family. Let me see what you guys think of this. And then we'll keep watching this footage. It was almost like we got kicked off or something, I thought, but I guess we're all right. Oh boy, please hit the thumbs up, share this video, you guys, because everyone needs to see this stuff. Prime example of why you have to be ready. All right, let's finish up this video here. Whoa, that was crazy. See what the police have to say about this.
It's Dallas police.
Hey, they shot back their shell casings out here.
Right here, open the door.
Yeah, just open the door slowly, man. Make sure I can see your hands. Hey,
We're all in.
We're all in your hands. Alright, come on out, man.
Are you the only one inside?
No, my brother.
Alright, I want all of you guys to come out. Just step over here for me.
Go on, Dustin.
Oh boy.
Can I get my phone? So I can show you a video?
Yeah, we'll get it.
Be on the
You
camera.
guys give us, you guys.
Now I guess those guys maybe shot back. He said there were shell casings outside.
Can I go inside?
Go ahead.
Grab all this stuff? Okay.
Yeah, dude, I gotta do. I'm spazzing hard as fuck right now.
Oh boy. Got to make sure everyone's okay on the other side. Home security. And what could people possibly want inside of an empty house? Or, you know, I mean, is it worth it for a big screen TV that they're probably going to drop on the way out? Like, people are just losing their minds. They're literally losing their minds. Now, let's get on to this next story here. Another weird story from behind a door. Look at this. A case of what I call terrorist pizza, for those of you guys that know the Jerky Boy skit. My child is sick, throwing up blood, and you talk about pizza? I'm not making this up, you guys. Literally, an Asian guy had beef with an Indian guy, so he decided to take a hypodermic needle and inject drugs underneath the man's door. The guy's child then starts throwing up from the poisoning. I mean, this could have been fentanyl. Florida man caught on video allegedly injecting a chemical agent under a neighbor's door, making family with the baby sick. Now, jokes aside, this is nuts, you guys. Florida man was arrested and charged with injecting a chemical agent with a syringe under the door of his neighbor's condo. Police say an active battery allegedly caught on video that was released this week. Xuming Lee, 36, was seen injecting a liquid under a neighboring family's door at Oxford Place at Tampa Palms on several occasions. According to the police report, the liquid tested positive for narcotics, methadone, and hydrocodone. Look at this. Look at this guy. Methadone and hydrocodone are used to treat pain. Side effects for both narcotics can include restlessness, stomach pain, vomiting, difficulty breathing, skin irritation, chest pain, diarrhea, hallucinations, and fainting. Umar Abdullah installed a hidden camera outside his condo after he smelled chemicals in his home, and his 10-month-old baby started vomiting. Tampa fire rescue responded to the family's home on several occasions, but weren't able to determine the cause of the smell. Surveillance footage showed Abdullah's downstairs neighbor, Lee, injecting a liquid through his condo's doorway. Lee had previously made noise complaints to Abdullah. Even during war, the worst enemies do not attack the opponent, the other party, with chemicals, Abdullah told WFLA. They were suffering shortness of breath, eye and skin irritation from inhaling the chemicals for over a month. During the investigation of the home, an officer who was exposed to the chemicals also experienced skin irritation and received medical treatment. Lee was arrested on June 27th, charged with one count of felony aggravated stalking. There should be a special place for people who come up with such insidious ways to hurt other people. This should go above and beyond the normal prosecution. I mean, I hope that the judge sees this and says something. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine not knowing why you're sick and you find out your neighbor is injecting your family underneath the door? Now, of course, this isn't commonplace, obviously, but this is the world we live in now. I guess Zooming Lee is going to zoom off to jail because he got caught red-handed. Unreal. What is wrong with people? So, what else do we have? I need a break, you guys. Let me take a break here. Check in with you guys, and we'll get into the rest of these stories. Whew, what a trip. You know, everything seemed to have changed. Huh? You never read stories like this before the pandemic, and then now it's like a whole new level of crazy, isn't it? Wow. The world we live in. What was that guy thinking? And what if it was fentanyl? The whole family would be dead. Hey, guess what? Let's get to this next story. Now, they want to build homes out of fungus. That's right. Mold. A mold home. Let's read this. Now, the odds of us covering all this 3 years ago, and now them talking about it, it's probably 1 in a million. We told you about the mycelial network, and that would be a thing, and all of the mold. Well, look at this. Scientists make a breakthrough in research that could change the way our homes are constructed. Humans may be one day living in homes fit for gnomes. Researchers at the UK's Newcastle University are using fungal networks called mycelium to build structures. The goal is to create lighter weight buildings, reducing our reliance on concrete and lessening negative environmental impact. Mycelium, small strings that are part of the fungus, intertwine underground with tree roots. It's part of the network of plants that pass water and nutrients to each other, even allowing trees to communicate, according to the National Forest Foundation. Mushrooms, the fairy tale home of garden gnomes, are a byproduct that grows on the surface. So, they want us all to be Smurfs now. I know some of the stuff that we cover seems silly, but when you see it manifesting into the reality, literally weeks, months, or years after we talk about it, that's when you realize it isn't not a joke. Remember when we decoded those Smurfs episodes in the Smurfs movie? Well, now they want us all to live in Smurf houses. Researchers are now leveraging the growth properties of the organism to create mycocrete. Oh, here we go. Mycoconcrete. An indigenous paste. Yeah, because we all want to live in an indigenous paste, don't we? When dried, it's stronger and more versatile than other fungi biomaterials. And then we can mind control you through the mycelial network of the house that you live in. No, it doesn't say that part, but that's where this is all headed. Our ambition is to transform the look, feel, and well-being of architectural spaces using mycelium in combination with bio-based materials such as wool. Oh, of course, wool. Sawdust and cellulose. The process is quite the biology experiment. Scientists take mycelium spores and mix them with materials the spores can devour and grow on. Oh, nothing could go wrong with that, including grains. This mixture is put into a mold and placed in a room that might resemble your basement right now. Warm, dark, and humid. Oh, yeah. Mycelium grows to form and is dried, creating a building material that could be a cleaner fill-in for foam, timber, or plastic. Yeah, let's just use mold to create insulation for our houses. That way, you don't have to wait for the mold to grow and kill you. You could just have it kill you right now. I can't even read the rest of this article. I'll put a link to this one as well. Wow. Now, let's get to some updates on Maui. Guess what? The Maui Utility Company covered up evidence. Or they're doing a bait and switch. We all know what caused the fire, which is why nobody will go to jail for hiding the power lines that they say caused the fire. Maui Utility may have compromised evidence in probe of deadly fire. See the bait and switch here? This just reinforces the theory that the power lines caused it if they hid the power lines. But no one's going to jail. because that's not what caused it. The Hawaii Power Utility, believed to have started the deadly Lahaina fire, removed damaged power poles and other equipment from a key fire scene, potentially affecting evidence that is part of an official investigation of how the blaze ignited. Hawaii Electric, which acted quickly to restore power on the island after August 8th, hauled away fallen poles, power lines, transformers, conductors, and other equipment from near Lahaina substation starting around August 12th. Documents show before investigators from the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms arrived on the scene. Why would the ATF be investigating this fire? Don't they look for bombs? So, there's a clue right there, right? So, that's where it's all headed, you guys. Now, this next story is creepy. By now, you've all seen the new squadron logo for the Space Force. Remember the Space Force that Trump signed into law? Well, here is their new squadron logo. Now, you might have heard this on KJ's Scariest Movie Ever. He covered this on a show the other day. And on its face, this is already creepy because it's literally the Grim Reaper, the number 75, which is 57 backwards, which is 5G. 57 is 5G. But here's what's creepy, and I don't think anyone's covered this yet. Look, you can almost see the Baphomet in the background here of this graphic as well, with the horns. Looks like the devil literally behind there. These look like either feathers or scales in the background, scales of a snake. Literally, these people are coming right out in plain sight and admitting everything. But here's what makes this creepy. Within days of that story breaking, this story broke. Completely separate story with the same character on the front. The Grim Reaper. Now, how are these stories connected? What is the Space Force Squadron logo and this story? How are they connected? Well, let's read the story. This was August 25th, just a couple days before the space logo. Once again, New Haven, Connecticut. And for those of you that don't know, I lived there for about 3 years. I went to Yale and investigated Skull and Bones. That house, we walked all around it. I filmed it. It's actually here on the channel. I did as much investigating as I could in the area for some of these occult sites while I was living there. And literally, I was like 10 minutes away from New Haven, Connecticut, where all this went down. And let's read what this was about. Yale police to first-year students, beware the streets of New Haven. This is the message you get after you make it into Yale College. Halloween never ends with these people. Andrew Fiosa, as an incoming first-year student at Yale, has been in the United States for 12 days. That's another weird thing. Yale has a lot of international students. What are they training these students for? I think they're training them for the future of who will lead America. This is why you have these foreign nationals coming into schools like this, these elite schools. We know a lot of the people that are in leadership now are from these colleges. Now we have a trend of a lot of foreign nationals coming to these schools. How do they get in? Who's sending them here? Why are they sending them here? Let's keep reading here. He arrived from New Zealand on his own, 3 suitcases in tow. As he pulled his luggage through downtown New Haven, a woman handed him a flyer describing his new city as a crime-ridden and dangerous. It listed alarming local crime statistics and instructed students to remain on campus, avoid public transportation, and stay off the streets after 8 p.m. Illustrated with a picture of the Grim Reaper, the flyer wished students an ominous good luck. But perhaps most jarring was the source of the flyer, listed plainly in its text. The union that represents Yale's own campus police. In the days since the union distributed the survival guide leaflets, Yale administrators and police officials have been scrambling to calm first-year students and their parents. Anthony Campbell, the chief of Yale Police Department, said the leaflets wrongly painted New Haven as a war zone. I'm extremely hurt and sad and disgusted by the actions taken by the Yale Police Benevolent Association. The police union, said Campbell, who once led the New Haven Police Department. I think it is divisive, destructive for any police officer to disparage the city in which they work. Look at this. Let's see if we can find any clues about any weirdness going on with this. The incidence of crime and violence in New Haven is shockingly high, and it is getting worse. During the 7-month period ending July 23rd, murders have doubled. Burglaries are up 33%. Of course it's 33%. Do you understand how these numbers are not accidents anymore? This is all coded. People laugh at you about this. You show them stuff like this. Even July 23rd is probably an occult date. We're not going to go too far down the rabbit hole, but you can look that up. Vehicle thefts are up 56%. Nevertheless, some Yaleys do manage to survive New Haven and even retain their personal property. The following guidelines have been prepared by the Yale Police Benevolent Association to help you enjoy your stay at Yale in comfort and safety. Good luck. And they show the Grim Reaper. Stay off the streets after 8 p.m. Even in downtown New Haven, robberies and incidents of gunfire are on the rise. Robberies and assaults on the New Haven Green are also on the rise. If you walk downtown after 8 p.m., you'll observe that the streets are deserted and most of the stores are closed. Do not be misled by blue phone cameras. They are not monitored. I don't even know what a blue phone camera is. Do not walk alone. If you must leave your dorm after 8 p.m., try not to go out alone. Summon Yale security for a walking escort and activate the tracking feature on the Live Safe app. Oh, so they're promoting tracking people. Avoid public transportation. Why have public transportation if you're supposed to avoid it? That makes absolutely no sense to me. New Haven's Union train station also has seen an alarming rise in crime, including a recent shooting. On July 9th, 2023, a person was shot on the train platform while exiting the train. On July 17th, 2023, a person was stabbed multiple times while inside the lobby of the train station. Accordingly, please use extreme caution if you choose to ride the train. Then they tell them to remain on campus. This is the actual flyer, you guys. Remain on campus. Well, there you go. Literally, it's all coming off the rails. All right, well, what else do we have here? But wait. Since everybody's boycotting beer anyway, let's just limit people's intake to 2 beers per week, like Canada. I'm not making this up. Let's just bring back prohibition. This is Bo Jiven's czar. This is actually what he wants to do. Limit beers to 2 a week. Now, for me, that wouldn't be a big deal. But I don't want anyone telling anyone how much alcohol they can drink. Let's read this. President Bo Jiven's alcohol czar says Americans may be told by officials to have no more than 2 beers a week. Director of the National Institutes of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism told Daily Mail on Thursday that the U.S. may follow Canada's footsteps on alcohol guidelines. Now, every once in a while, partake in a beer or two. And here in Arkansas, you're not allowed to buy beer on, I think it's Sundays. And I walked into a Dollar General. I'm like, I feel like having a beer today. I went to go grab a beer, and the lady looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, what's the problem? She goes, at first you take it as a compliment. You're like, oh, you need to see my ID. I mean, I'm 50. I probably don't look anywhere close to 21, but she's like, no, that's not it. She's like, we don't sell beer on Sundays. I was like, oh. Now, growing up in California, this was strange to me that there would be a day of the week where you can't purchase alcohol, but it's a thing. So now they're talking about basically banning drinking. Wow. Let's read a little bit of this because this is important. Currently, American guidelines recommend men limit themselves to 2 drinks per day, while women should only have 1 drink. American recommendations are up for review in 2025. Oh, we missed part of this. Oh, here we go. Canada's guidelines recommend only having 2 drinks per week. Coob, who said he partakes of a couple glasses of buttery California Chardonnay a week, said he was watching the Canadian big experiment with interest. If there's health benefits, I think people start to reevaluate where we're at, Coob said. Coob should write a book. Coob said there are no benefits to physical health from drinking alcohol, that he was pretty sure American alcohol consumption recommendations are not going to go up. Anyway, this guy just, more fear, threatening to take away people's ability to have a drink when they want. Wow. Now, a couple more stories for you guys. I know this is a long show today. There's a lot to cover. Trump's hazing ritual is in full effect, and many of us couldn't figure out why it's happening. Well, they want civil war. Sarah Palin says it's time to stand up. We do need to rise up. Now, never forget that all this is a honey trap. They're trying to draw out any right-leaning people who are willing to take any actions against the government with even a hint of violence or anything that they can attach you to previous incidents. They're going to go after you with the full force of the law. So don't fall for this trap. But this is weird, right? Sarah Palin, Pale Horse Palin. Let's see what she's saying. Let's see if there's a video here. No video. Former Republican vice presidential candidate Sarah Pale Horse Palin alluded to potential civil war Thursday, lashing out at not just Democrats going after prosecuting Donald Trump, but also the bunch of freaking rhinos running the Republican Party for not defending Trump enough. If Trump was in that much trouble with the Republican Party, he still wouldn't be the nominee. And the day that changes, somebody please let me know. We do need to rise up and take our country back, Palin told Newsmax. Eric Bolling, asserting that the prosecution of Trump could be leading the country into a violent split. Bolling asked the former Alaska governor about Trump being fingerprinted and having his mugshot taken in Atlanta, and she sounded off. Now we're not going to look at his mugshot, but we are going to look at his inmate number. Because a couple of you sent this to me and you wanted me to decode this. This is Donald Trump's inmate number. PO 1135809. So I pulled up this image of it. This is some guy playing a piano. 88 keys, right? Back to the Future. And he has Trump's inmate number. And I decided to take the numbers and try to break this down. P is the 16th letter of the alphabet. You can remove all the zeros. So you have 113589. So what is this about? Well, what this really reads is 9/11 upside down and backwards. In other words, you can take this number here, rotate it fully. 9/11 happened in the Hebrew year 61, 5761. There's your 61. And the two numbers in the middle are 3 and 58. 3 are the 3 buildings that fell. What does the 58 represent? Well, the 58 is when he knew he would become president. What are you talking about, Casey? That's hogwash. Donald Trump became president 58 years after 1958, when he won the 58th presidential quadrennial election. You can look those statistics up for yourself. 58 years after 1958, he won the 58th presidential quadrennial election. So there's all the numbers from Trump's inmate number decoded. Weird, right? Alright, I'll check with you guys. We'll take care of our last story. Because there have been feet, literally severed feet, washing up on shore on the west coast of America. Wow. Yes, Jesus has to be coming soon, doesn't he? Because I don't know how much more of this stuff we can take. Look at this. Nothing to see here. Move along. Why are human feet washing ashore in the Pacific Northwest? The answer isn't as scary as you might think. Wow. There's nothing quite like a sunny day on the beach. The warm sun on your skin, breeze in your hair, and the shoe containing a human remains next to you in the sand. Yes, you read that right. According to the Times columnist, on July 27th, a shoe with a human body part was discovered on Gonzales Beach by a man who lives in the area. He reported his findings to the British Columbia Coroner Service. It is currently under investigation. But as morbid as it sounds, feet washing up on shore may be more common than one might think. The most recent detached foot discovery is one of many found in recent years. A Wikipedia page made solely for human feet found in the Salish Sea said that since 2007, around 20 human foot remains have been discovered along the coastline of Washington State and British Columbia, Canada. Wow. Is it a result of foul play? There are many theories on what the reason could be behind the number of decomposing feet being found along the northwest coastline. Over the years, some have suspected natural disasters, such as tsunamis or plane and boat crashes that are expected to have casualties. Others have even thought it could be the work of a serial killer in the area or a victim of organized crime violence. Officials for both Canada and U.S. have canceled out foul play throughout the years. Oh, of course they have. Wow. So now we live in a world where dozens of people's feet can wash up on shore, and they still tell us nothing to see, move along here. No DNA test, no trying to find matching the feet with missing persons, nothing. We're just told nothing to see, move along. Welcome to Wally World. Let's go into the chat. Those are the stories I have for you guys. I'll put links to all this. For you guys. What are your guys' theories on why feet could be washing up? Obviously, they were amputated. We don't even get an explanation as to how the foot was removed. Was it bit off by something? Or was it cut with a knife? There's like literally no investigation. We're just told, nothing to see here, move along. It's from a natural disaster. That's what happened. So, "33 counties in state of emergency in Florida." Of course, it has to be 33, right? Thanks, Speak UN Easy. Thank you for showing up. Please thumbs up the video if you haven't already, you guys. Connie says it's a witchcraft sacrifice. The beach stinks like feet now, says Snowball. Hey, Snowball, if you can get a hold of one of those flyers, because I know you're over there, email it to me. One of those Grim Reaper flyers. There may be more to that. We need to break that down in detail. Jesse says, I'm trying to find a joke, but I got nothing. It's so disturbing that you can't even make a joke about it. All right. Yep, and 33 amount raised to help Hawaii. Yep, they're just right in our faces with this stuff. New Mexico has 33 counties, so ranch sold also Club 33 rolls hard soon, brethren, says Walmarty. Yeah, we got the international. I mean, you got Yale College, literally, and Snowball can confirm this for me. Literally, almost everyone that goes to Yale now are like from other countries. And if that doesn't disturb you, I don't know. I don't know what will wake people up. They recruit from Yale for our leadership in this country. So that tells us that our leadership will one day be unrecognizable. We'll be absorbed into the world order. It doesn't matter if it's a person on the right or the left who gets elected. That is the agenda. When I heard that, when I was living there and actually saw it with my own eyes, I couldn't believe it. But it's the truth. And I have seen it with my own eyes. Wow, J.C. King says some of the feet were found a few miles from me. Kane says someone has to foot the bill. You literally drive through the campus. It's not its own thing. It's in the city. It is the city. Yeah. Huh. Sandy feet, says Daryl. Someone P says this story has no legs. I remember when I was a child and I would get in big trouble for throwing batteries in the trash can. Oh, I would get in trouble. My mom would say, "Where'd you throw those batteries away?" And I was like, "I just threw them in the trash can." Oh, I got a lashings for that. Well, now all of a sudden we live in a world where you can have a whole car full of batteries and nobody cares where it goes. Shoalo says free toes. That's a good one. Okay, I'm going to make an admission here. I had some little tiny micro batteries. Now, I didn't know they were in the box that I put them in, but I do a lot of burning here. I just burn stuff because it's just easier. I threw the box in the fire, and I'm literally inside my cabin, and I hear like what sounded like a small bomb. And then I put two and two together, and I was like, oh, that was a little tiny watch battery that I had in my laser leveler that I just replaced. One went off, and then the other one went off because there were two batteries, and it was a noticeable explosion. You guys, that was from a battery the size of the tip of my pinky. Joy asks, what do your mom do with the batteries? Well, apparently batteries have to be recycled, so you're supposed to like save them up and then like take them to an approved battery recycling place, and I think they charge you a little bit of money to do that or something like that. But yeah, little tiny battery the size of the tip of my pinky literally exploded. Like it was probably the force of a large firecracker. Now imagine an entire car full of batteries, an electric car. So, all right, you guys, I'm gonna let you guys get to the rest of your day. We'll probably be back tomorrow. I'm screening several different films and TV series right now. There may be more headlines to cover, follow-up stories from today's stories. Thanks everybody for showing up. Please thumbs up the video if you haven't already. I'll put links to everything. Have a great rest of your day, you guys. Take care.